Victory Tuesday. I get used to this. We're on a short week. We got the Patriots coming up, but we definitely have to talk about last night's Monday night matchup. Max Crosby and the boys doing their thing. I wish the offense could be half that at this point, but a W is a W. The just win, baby. Just win, baby. That's what it's about. The Raider Critique's in the house. What's up, Knight? What's up, Critique? Thank you for being here, brother. Man, I want to say it was an epic game, or I want to say, man, that game was just overwhelmingly exciting. Look, I'm not here to talk any negative talk tonight. I mean, I would be foolish not to bring up a couple of points and get some things clear about where this team is at. But I want to focus in on the things that we did right and try to find the silver lining, if you will, on the things that we should look forward to moving forward. Rolling Dubs in the house. What's up, brother? So, with that said, let's go ahead and kick this thing off. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Night of the Shield, right here on the Las Vegas Raiders News Review, brought to you by Independently Blind Studios, where we educate, advocate, motivate, and inspire other people who are going through loss to live their best independent life. That's right. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be updated every time I go live. And if you're here already, go ahead and do me a favor and hit that like button. Let's continue to move up the algorithm. There's 7 of you here already. I appreciate every single one of you. I got 2 likes. You other 5, go ahead and do me a big favor and just hit that like button. You guys would be great. Appreciate you guys. Chat's already starting to blow up. Ray Gonzalez is in the house. Salute, nation. Salute, brother. Chat gang is in the house. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. All right, guys, let me go ahead and get my thoughts off my head, and then we could jump in the chat and have some fun. All right, first and foremost, victory, man. Victory. And that's all that matters is just win, baby, right? The defense continues to impress. Now, granted, I know that the Green Bay Packer offense is not nothing that you want to write home about and say it's the greatest thing we've ever faced this season, but there's still an NFL team. You know, Watson's very fast, very explosive. You know, Love is trying to find himself. He has good moments. He has bad moments. Dillon is no joke. That guy's a good back. He's a power back, one-dimensional to a certain degree, but nevertheless, you know, he ran hard on, especially early on, which most teams have done this season. But I'd love to see this Raider defense just tighten up. I think they went 6 quarters without giving up a touchdown at this point. And you know what? That's something to be proud of. I don't care who you face in the National Football League. If you can go 6 quarters without giving up a touchdown, you're doing something right. You know, is it still my favorite defense to watch? Probably not. I mean, but it's growing on me, right? Because as they grow, so does my infatuation of the idea that we could have a really great defense at some point. And if I was wearing a hat, I would definitely take it off to Patrick Graham. I think he's done very well on his adjustments. Okay, let me put it this way. What we're seeing from the Raiders defense is what we should be seeing from this whole team at this point, right? From the beginning in Denver to this point, you see progression each and every week with the defense. It's still in its simplest form, yeah, because that's what, you know, McDaniels had asked Graham to do, kind of simplify it, let them play a little faster. It's working. It's working. And as the season goes on, maybe he could add a few more wrinkles to what this defense does. And it's crazy to think that this defense is doing it pretty much primarily off the back of Max Crosby up front. Now, I'm going to give Jenkins and even Blah Nichols a little bit of credit, and Matthew Butler. I think that defensive front played really well last night. I think Kuntz was on fire until he banged up his knee a little bit. But collectively, they didn't play the best game, but they didn't play the worst game. They were effective. You know, the secondary played really aggressive. There was definitely some miscommunication. It's going to happen in a game. But overall, they were flying around, being where they were supposed to be. Spillane got a pick, 2 picks, technically. How about Amik Robinson? Everybody's talking about that game-ending pick, but dude, that guy was just flying around, tackling. I like to see him come into his own and kind of be a great 1-2 punch with him and Hobbs. I don't want to see Amik out there full-time on the outside, but in certain situations and certain matchups, I think Amik is more than serviceable. I figured that when I watched him in preseason, I felt that too, and I felt like he could make this team, and he did. But now he's not only made the team, he's actually contributing. He played really, really well yesterday. Again, if you're looking for your secondary to be perfect, I don't know what sport you're watching, man, but that's definitely got to be the hardest position to play in the National Football League, in my opinion. Roger Santos, Raider Nation for life. Salute, brother. That Raiders fan. Man, the whole chat jumped on me on that one. I'll find you again, brother. Hold on. Here we go. Marcus Peters' horse collar tackle saved us. It's funny when you watch, and you finally watch an actual penalty, a big one too, right? That would have been considered a big one in most cases. But the fact that it turned out for us to put up a nice defensive stance and keep them out and only hold them to a field goal, it's kind of weird how that works, right? And it kind of is going to play off to my next subject here. I'll jump in. Let me get Raider critique out of here real first. Let me address my boy here. The right penalty at the right time. Sometimes penalties are smart, right? Critique. Like sometimes you just got to know. That's just knowing the game. That's just knowing, hey, I have to do this. This gives us the best chance, and it did, and it worked out. Do the Sums in the house. Do the Sum. What's up, bro? Let's see. Mike Florio was so mad about the horse collar, and I get why. In that the Raiders won. I love it. He hates the Raiders. No, he totally hates the Raiders. And here's the thing. I understand why anybody would hate the horse collar. I promise you, if that happened to Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow, any one of our star receivers or anybody on our team, we would be upset too. Those things have been known to tear ACLs and tear a knee apart or any other type of ligament in the leg. So I understand why someone could sit there and hold on to some anger for that, but that doesn't mean it wasn't the right thing to do. And I'm sure Marcus Peters' intent was not to hurt anybody, and nobody got hurt. So if nobody got hurt and there was no ill content, which I know there wasn't, let it go, Florio, which we know he has a hard time doing. He's a Raider hater. So I had a lot of nice things to say about the defense, right? I don't really have not one negative thing that I could say about the defense. Again, I've seen time and time again, and I probably fell into this trap myself, and I'm trying to do a better job of staying focused in on analyzing this team to the best of my biased ability because I am a Raider fan. I can't help it. I'm going to get emotional. I'm going to overthink things, especially in a positive light or a negative light based off what I'm feeling about the football team. But in all honesty, it's so easy to sit up here and start picking out everything that the team does wrong and not even paying attention to not only what they're doing right, but kind of why both of those are taking place. Why are they doing that right? Why are they doing this wrong? It's a part of the game across the board, all 32 teams, right? There's no such thing as the perfect team. Now, there's some teams that do it much better than others on a more consistent basis, and those are the teams that we're talking about in February. But we're nowhere near February. Nor do I think we'll be talking about the Raiders in this National Football League for this season in February. I don't see them being a Super Bowl contender. I mean, there would be too much that has to change, too much that has to improve for that even to be a conversation right now. But they did, for the first time since week 1, go out and do what they were supposed to do, and that's beat a team that on paper we feel that they should have won. On yesterday's video, I talked about, winnable game for who? Because I guarantee you Green Bay was thinking the same thing. In fact, I guarantee you Bill Belichick and his staff are thinking the same thing for this weekend. Why? Because we didn't show that we were going to dominate the Packers. And that's something that we have to keep in mind. So even though we did the right thing, here's where we start building consistency. And as it falls to Josh McDaniels, this is McDaniels' opportunity to actually do some real coaching and get these guys better prepared, get them improved. And Carmen, look, the offensive line is the issue. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the offensive line. I'm going to put this right out there so I don't have to keep reverting back to it. Everything I have to say about execution on this offense it does fall on the shoulders first of Josh McDaniels. He's the head coach. It's his job to get his assistant coaches, his position coaches to be on board, to get this team ready to fix the problems and play better. They need to execute better, and he needs to try to do whatever he can to make sure that is the reality every week. I'm not seeing it. From week 1 to week 5, it is consistently the same dull, droll play calling. You know, people want to put it on the play calling, right? And I'm gonna put a stop to that here, at least on my channel, because what makes a good play call? When the play works. I mean, is there things that you do in a game? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to jump right to that real quick, right? Right before half, the third down, the little screen, bubble screen that he tried to throw and it got deflected by Rashid Smith or Rashid. Yeah, I think it's Rashad Smith, one of those. They're cornerback, regardless, right? And everybody was mad. I think Mark Davis. They panned to Mark Davis. He either called him an a-hole or he said something about throwing it to the end zone. I've heard different reports. To me, I really don't care. I mean, Mark Davis should be mad. Mark Davis should be saying something in the owner's box. We were definitely thinking it and saying it, right? The question becomes, why? And I've heard the reports. Well, he doesn't trust his offense. That's a problem. He doesn't even trust his own offense. McGenius doesn't even trust his own offense. So yeah, he probably don't. And it starts with that offensive line. I'm not justifying the play call. What I'm saying is this guy is just trying to find any way to get a positive, period. And he did not trust, because if you watch the game like I did, yeah, we have Josh Jacobs in that situation. But at that moment in time, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. There's a couple of plays I remember specifically watching where Josh is hitting towards a hole and there's not even a crack, dude. Not even a butt crack chance for him to run through anything. And by the time he kicked it outside, there was no contain. There was no block, sealing off the edges. And there was a tackler right there to bring him to the ground. Like, it is an offensive line issue. I don't care what anybody says. And it's not just one player. Parham played horrible. Andre James played horrible. Montford did all right. Illuminor started. They pulled him out. Look, no one ever thought Illuminor was going to be an all-pro right tackle, right? We know that this offensive line has issues, and it's not getting better. That is consistently what's causing the rest of it to fall apart, including the next one I want to talk about, which is Jimmy G. A lot of people say Jimmy G looks scared. Happy feet. Happy feet and being scared are two different things. There's a play in particular that I think it might have even been the pick. I can't recall off the top of my head, where Jimmy rolls out and he sets his feet. He knows he's going to get smacked, bro. He sets his feet and throws it anyway. The guy's not playing scared. The guy's not afraid to take a hit. He's not afraid to set his feet, take a lick. As long as he feels like there's a play to be made, he will try to make it. And that is a good thing, and in some cases it could be a bad thing, right? Jimmy doesn't trust the offensive line. That's where the happy feet comes from. And then it's messing with his processing, right? So now he's not processing fast enough. He's not seeing the whole field. It got them all in a certain way. And that's not even me defending Jimmy G, because honestly, we already knew, at least I did, my perspective of it is Jimmy G was not brought in here to be the future quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. I know that's not a news flash for a lot of you guys here, because you guys are very football savvy and you guys understand that, right? And the other thing that made me mad, and I told you it would make me mad, because this does not make sense to me. I cannot put it together. Now, it contradicts the way that I feel, though, because I've said the longer that we can wait on Aiden O'Connell, the better. The better for this organization, the better for Aiden. Give him the opportunity that he needs to be like ready to go. Him playing week 4 was the right thing to do, because it was an opportunity. Why not? And that's my thought when they played Jimmy this week. He's ready to go. I mean, there was a part of me is like, hey, keep the kid moving. But I have to fall back to what I originally said. And the more time we give Aiden, the better it's going to be for him, right? Now he really knows what the game speed's like. He knows what defense and what defenses are going to do. He also knows this his offense can't do crap. And maybe that's the reason they made him inactive. I have no idea. I just don't understand when your starting quarterback goes out and you played the rook. And I believe the rook made some mistakes. Yeah, he's a rook. But you went with the rookie and then you make him inactive. Like, I think that you just... Come hell or high water, you want to give this guy the opportunity if it's there. And why can't he be the backup quarterback? There ain't no reason. The only thing that I can think of, and I haven't been able to watch a tape. You guys want to help me in the comments below? I always appreciate it. Is there a rule that if you're inactive, so like if Hoyer, for example, was the inactive quarterback, Now, he still can play if the other two get hurt, right? So he still can become active and play in the game only in emergency cases. But will that still allow Hoyer to walk the sidelines with the clipboard? That's the only thing that I can think of, because if the rule is that he can't participate in that way, he can't be on the sideline doing that, which I don't think it is a rule. That's the only thing I can think of. There's no reason why, in my mind, if you've already played the kid for a whole game, a whole 4 quarters, and you had a chance to win against a division rival on the road, that he at least earned the spot to back up Jimmy G, because I really think that he still gives us a chance to win with that live arm. I'm all for giving him time. If Jimmy's good to go, keep riding Jimmy until his wheels fall off. And you could see, too, that's the other thing about Jimmy. I could see that he's playing hurt. All right, now that's the only negative stuff I want to cover today. I got it out of the way. And I don't think it's so much negative as the truth. That's just facts to me, right? But outside of that, you saw moments where they actually, either whether they designed it by play or whether Jimmy saw the field early on good. We saw some great things from our rookie tight end, Mike Mayer, going up the sideline. He showed speed. He showed power. He had a bigger play to make, and he kind of dropped the ball on that one, so to speak, literally and figuratively. But you saw the potential that kid has. You saw Austin Hooper get in the mix. You saw Tucker go for another 16. There was a lot of great things to see. Now, I know one of the other downsides, and I'm not going to even consider it a downside. Look, Davante can't be the guy every week. He just can't. And if you're going to cover Davante a certain way, but you got a guy like Jakobi Meyers, a true number 2, by the way, and in some cases probably could be well enough to be number 1. He made some great catches yesterday. He always finds a way to get open. And again, the more that they continue to show that and use other pieces of this offense, that'll give Davante more one-on-one looks. And then, yes, I agree. I was watching Pat McCaffrey's show. He had Aaron Rodgers on there, and Aaron even said, sometimes you just got to trust in Davante. And I believe we need to see more of that, straight up. But I also think that this offense, even though I saw glimmers of hope yesterday, this is still not going to satisfy me moving forward. This is not going to create – look, I still bring up the question for this week against the Patriots. Winnable game, but for who? We keep shooting ourselves in the foot. This defense is playing at way better level than we thought after week 1 and 2. Facts. I'm just telling you, man, I was really worried. I was upset. This defense is starting to show up. It's been showing up now for 2 weeks straight, 6 quarters straight. This team has played incredible football. Incredible football. Now, are they a top 10 defense? No, but they're a top 20. They continue to come out, make plays, and show improvement. This defense is right where I expected it to be, me personally, and right where we need it to be for this $2 million or $200 million offense to explode, and it's not doing it. So here's another week. It's a short week. They got to find a way to design some plays, get this offensive line in position to make plays, put more of an emphasis on it. I don't care what you do, but this offense got to score 20 points this week. And then technically I keep hearing, well, if Carlson would have made those 2 field goals, we would have had 23 points. But he didn't make it. I don't play the what if. That's part of the game. If before half we would have threw it to the end zone and got a touchdown, we wouldn't need the field goal he got either. But that didn't happen either. I don't like going and saying, well, if this, if that, if this. No, they just need to play better across the board. All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox. I think it was a great victory. And look, I don't want to put the offense totally down. They did enough to outscore the other team, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. But I'd be lying to you guys if I just try to act like there's not more room for improvement. And we continue to have to get better. We just have to get better. The Raider critique, that's what other coaches use to talk about cheat to win. Well, I don't know if that's necessarily cheating. I mean, you know you're going to do it. I mean, it's not, to me, it's not cheating. It's not more than just, you're just making a play, dude. The rule exists. It's not like you lose if you do it or you get kicked out of the game. You just did it. Salute night. Salute, Rafi. Let's see. Raider Dangerfield's in the house. What's up, brother? Salute, Raider Nation. Salute. Victory Tuesday, baby. Salute night. Right back at you, Raider Dangerfield. All right. Joseph Duran's in the house. Joseph, good to see you here, brother. Our defense improved the last 2 games, 100%. They're really getting comfortable in the position that Pat Graham has him playing in. Now, there's still some things I don't like, right? Like I still say they play too soft, primarily Marcus Peters on the outside. I don't know if it's something Marcus Peters feels that he needs, but I'd like for him to stay more aggressive and not give up so much space. There was a couple of plays there where there was no contention to play the sticks. I didn't get it. I mean, he was playing past the sticks. He let him catch it at the sticks. There was just too many of those opportunities for them to reach the ball out. We got to play tighter in those situations. Just, if it's 3rd and 6, you can't play 8-9 yards off the ball. Like, it's crazy. Raider Dangerfield. Let's see. We need serious work on the O-line. Yeah, I mean, it starts there. It truly does. If you look at both what's happening with Jimmy G and not feeling comfortable to really go through his progressions and literally let's go watch that game. And I'm not going to say it's every single time, but most of the time that I can remember in my short-term memory that I have, there wasn't a butt crack hole for Josh Jacobs to run through. I promise you, man, watch that game. It was bad, dude. By the time he got to the line, it was like, dang. And maybe he needs to slow his approach down and give it more time. But nevertheless, he's getting swallowed up. When he tried to kick it to the outside, which is what he should do, he was eaten up right away. No chance at all. It's the offensive line that's causing most of the problems. And they played well last year, and I was hoping that and there's still time, right? I mean, maybe it's the same guys, so maybe they can get it going again and figure something out and start playing better down the stretch. But, man, it's been 5 games, and it looks the same. It looks like nothing's changed, and that's what scares me the most. Ray Gonzalez, my dude, let me see. With Jimmy starting, this team needs to play almost error-free. AO4, let me go a little bit more. AO4 scares the D more. The Jimmy poor run blocking, get the ball to JJ with the pass. That should be designed more into this offense because with Jimmy in there, they were talking about it last night. A lot more screens, bubble screens. Maybe you start running a little bit more that the draw plays or whatever you can do to get JJ going. But again, yeah, I mean, AO4 has the bigger arm, throw it down the field and really open up a little bit. But we saw him play, and one of the problems still, Ray, right, was the offensive line. He wasn't making quick enough decisions. He was a little nervous himself, and he stood there. He stood there like a statue, and he fumbled 3 times. So, it's a no-win situation, it feels like. But I really believe it starts with the pass protection and the run blocking. It truly does. We say it all the time. It starts in the trenches, right? And I promise you, we have too many talented football players behind that offensive line for there to be any other excuse but the offensive line, in my opinion. I could talk about Jimmy G's age, his injuries. And by the way, I think Jimmy's more hurt than I've seen him limp a couple of times. He'll get tackled by his feet, and he'll get up gingerly on that foot. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but that's also could be another potential problem that he's having right now as far as his velocity on the football. Raider Dangerfield. I did like Munford. I did like Munford there at right tackle. Now put Illuminor at right guard. He needs to heal up. He's a little dinged up, so if he's good to go, I like that, though. And I believe we improve. You improve that right side a bit. That might be the combination that we need to get this thing going on the right side, but Andre James has been an issue this year. He's always been undersized, and I think that's primarily what he's dealing with the most right now is people realize that, and they just bum rush the middle, and Andre James can't handle it. But Parham has struggled. I think even Cole Miller for the second game had some questionable play on the outside. So, we need to get the whole line improved, but I do like that. I do believe Munford playing tackle and the Illuminor playing guard might be beneficial moving forward. I think it's something they should definitely try. Anything right now they should be trying. That Raiders fan, McDaniels decided not to call a timeout with over 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. Says a whole lot. Yeah, and I think it's to the point, I can't remember who I heard say this, but it really did make sense when it came to McDaniels and some of the decisions he's making. He's definitely overthinking it, right? They all have a sheet. They all kind of give you different scenarios of what you should do, what the statistics say, because it's all about the statistic world and all the number and crunching that they do on every little thing right now in the NFL. And he's just overthinking it. I think he's playing soft. He's trying to protect anything that he can. He's not trusting in his guys. You know, that particular, I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he thought we were good enough and save those timeouts and use the middle of the field and use the whole field to try to get into field goal range, which we did, and we missed the field goal, right? But at the end of the day, you know, that's a minute 30. That would have gave us more time and used the sideline more. So, you know, definitely a bad call. But again, is that a game changer? I don't think so. I don't think so. Was it a bad coach? It just shows that he's struggling right now as a head coach all over the board. So that I agree with. But is that one of those things that are detrimental to the team? And I'll even say that about the third down call on the bubble screen when he should have threw it to the end zone. And people saying that, well, he's not trusting his guys. He trusts them on fourth down. He didn't want another potential pick. So he wasn't trusting Jimmy there either, right? And there's something to say to that. And I say, if you don't trust Jimmy that much, play the kid, man, if it truly is that, right? But at that point in time, the offensive line was not pass protecting. They weren't run blocking. So I think he was trying to play it safe and hope that he could just get a move and get in the end zone. It was the bad call. I'm not defending him, right? I hope everybody understands I don't want to come out here and defend. But at the end of the day, none of this hurt us. We got the victory. Just moving forward, I hope he's not too prideful not to listen to what people are telling him. Like, dude, those are wrong. Stop trying to overthink it and just do what's right. Sheldon Brown. I have another one I want to talk about too. Sheldon Brown. I'm no big fan of Jimmy, but this line doesn't help him out much. No, Sheldon, they don't, bro. And I honestly, you know, even if they did play well, I still see some things that Jimmy is extremely struggling with when it comes to processing this offense, but primarily physically. I don't think he's physically where he was even before he got hurt with the Niners last year. You're seeing a quarterback sitting on the edge of retirement, in my honest opinion. Raiders Dangerfield. He doesn't trust his offense on 4th and 1. Yeah, that's the next one I was going to pick up. I was going to talk about too. He kicked it instead of running it. Yep. Let me see. He's done it 2 weeks in a row. And I'm glad that you brought that up, Raider Dangerfield, because that was my next point on the next call that he made. And this is the one that bothered me because it was a makeable 4th and 1. And to me, it was going to have the same effect, right? Because we end up missing it got, and I know people say, well, it was blocked. I'm like, yeah, it did change the directory of the football, but I don't think in such a dramatic way. That wasn't a good kick either. Carlson struggled. Maybe he was too hyped. I don't know. He had a bad day. And he very, very rarely, since he's been a Raider, have had days like that. So I'm not even mad at him for it. But it's the same situation for us to go for it on 4th and 1. If we don't get it, it has to play out the same way, right? So it didn't make any sense, right? And it was still like a 53-yarder, which he's usually Mr. Automatic. And the only thing that would have saved you from, the only logic you see in that is they would have to score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to win the game. And our defense was playing good enough where that was highly unlikely. So if they tried to go for 2 to win, then we win the game. If they tried to take us into overtime, I think we had the upper hand there as well, being at home. So I see what he was trying to do, but this is what I'm saying about him overthinking it. That's way too much to process, right? Any other coach would have been like, okay, let's do this. 4th and 1, we get it, we win. If we don't, then we have to play defense. I would have went that route. I think 90% of the league would have went that route. So again, this team has got him second guessing. Not so much his ability as a head coach or as an offensive play caller, although I think he's a little overrated and a little too on himself when it comes to that stuff, but that's a whole nother conversation. But it definitely got him overthinking and what's the best thing that he could do, because he can't say that we do this well, or this well, right? I mean, it's basically the defense that's carrying this team right now. And on that note, that's why I would have went for it on 4th and 1 as well, because I think I would have trusted the defense much more. Raider Dangerfield, I want AO4 by week 9, and that could be a possibility, or 10. If we ain't winning, but if we're at 500 or better than a game under, or better than a game under. Yeah, I mean, again, you don't fix it if it's not broke, right? So if Jimmy continues to win, especially these games that we should be winning or we all feel like we should be, these next 2 weeks primarily, I mean, Jimmy goes out there, doesn't do a good job against Detroit. I don't think any of us are going to lose sleep over that. But as long as we're winning, again, the more time you give the kid to be a student of the game, especially now that he's got a whole game under his belt, he understands what he's looking at even more so now than he did just looking at it on film or from the sideline. I think that's just going to benefit the kid. But I agree with you about the week 9 and 10 or even a little after, because you got to know there's a lot to decide this offseason, a lot to decide in what the tape that, because I'm not looking for draft. I'm not, but people keep talking about Caleb Williams. People keep talking about Drake May. I mentioned this yesterday. I decided I have to go take a peek at these guys because I don't really have a genuine answer from myself anyway, my own personal take on it. I know who they are. I watched some tape of them last year during the draft because people were talking about them coming out next year, but I wanted to see what they were up to. What is the hype still real? And I can't remember if I said this in the show, but the one thing that really stuck out to me on both those quarterbacks in college right now, especially as it comes to this system and beyond, when I see Aiden O'Connell, he's a pure pocket passer. That's what he is. That's what he does. And if McDaniels continues to not make good decisions as a head coach and can't start trusting what he's doing himself, then at some point you know that Davis is going to move on from him. And if we still have AOC on the team, that limits us on head coaching opportunities. But when I look at Caleb Williams and I look at Drake May, they're both solid pocket quarterbacks. They're multifaceted people, just like Patrick Holmes, right? Keep him in the pocket. If that pocket's clean, a guy like Caleb Williams will pick you apart. If it's rough, he can move that. He can move anywhere on that field. He likes to stay in the pocket. He'll go backwards, not sideways, and he'll still find a way to get the ball out of his hand and make a play. So again, even if it's tempting, and I hope that McDaniels and Ziegler have the nuts, the balls to make that type of decision early on. Because what? So you got Caleb Williams and Aiden O'Connell as the backup. That's a solid football team. You picked Aiden O'Connell up in the 4th round. You don't even have a fifth year option on the guy. So I still say that a quarterback could definitely be on the table next year in the draft. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that moving forward. Raider Dangerfield. If we're at 500 or better, stay with Jimmy. Agreed. I mean, the more, like I said, we're kicking a dead horse right now, but the longer we wait, the better it's going to be for this football team and for Aiden O'Connell. Jimmy threw it into the ground on that Mayor's play. It was still a bad throw. I mean, he could have adjusted to it a little bit, and again, a lot of his throws fall short to me, and that's what I'm saying. Just physically, I just don't think he's got it. I just don't think he's the same guy. I think he's banged up and hurt. Raider John, what's good, brother? No, what's good with you, bro? I mean, come on, man. My defense is holding it down, John. Where's your offense? Let's go. I didn't think I would be saying that to you this year, man, but I wanted to take the opportunity to get it out before it changes. That Raiders fan, I'll be going to the game. Hold on. My bad. It jumped on me again. I'll be going to the game on Sunday, hoping the offense can finally put 20 points and a victory. Now, again, and I will say this, because I was listening to Josh McDaniels' presser today while I was at work, and I was sitting there listening to what he had to say, and they asked him some tough questions. They were asking him, "Hey, what's it going to take?" What? And he goes, "It's not just one thing. It's a bunch of different things." And he goes, "One of the things that I like is that there's no quit. That they're still working at it, and we haven't played our best football." And I thought that, even though it was a cookie cutter answer and we could say, wah, 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 right? But at the end of the day, he's right. By all means, right? If you do make the switch and you put Munford in at right tackle and Illuminar at right guard, and that actually fixed a lot of the woes and it kind of fixed everything, which I highly doubt it's going to be that easy. But if it is, and this offensive line can grow and actually really protect and open up some holes to running holes for Jacobs, we could see this team explode. I mean, it's not out of the reach of things here too, right? This team has the potential. It's just not hitting on all cylinders. And I stick to my point that it's primarily the offensive line. You look at what our offensive weapons have been able to do, even with the banged up Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, it can happen, bro. So I wish you the best of luck paying all that money to go up to Vegas. Thank you for supporting the team, dude, and just being a passionate fan. This is what it needs to take. We need to keep our heads up. And I hope that they pull through for you, bro. And I hope the defense continues to dominate and you watch yourself one hell of a Raider win come Sunday. Blind Gamer, my boy Lou Dogs in the house. Lou, what's up, brother? What's up? What's up? What's up, brother? Thank you for being here. I appreciate your support. Everybody, Blind Gamer in the chat is one of my students that is part of Independently Blind that I mentor. Good kid, solid dude. I wait till you guys see some of the stuff I start putting out to show you guys what these kids are up to. And Lou has been with me for 2 years now, over 2 years probably, Lou, right? Just so proud of the accomplishments that he's been doing. He rocks it. Robert Pena, night salute, brother. Right back at you, Robert Pena. Appreciate you. Here he is. J.O.'s in the house. Great win, Knight. Hey, dude, I appreciate you, J.O. I mean, and coming from you, that means a lot, right? Because this McDummies and Mark Davis. But you know what? It was a great win. They did what they had to do. They clawed, they fight. They did what they had to do to pull it off, and you got to respect that. J.O., defense stood up. Oh, dude, this defense has really impressed me. The Condor would not be denied. Dude, that guy is insane. Could you imagine if we had someone on the opposite side, even half or 3/4? Because I think Kuntz is about half right now. 3/4 of that? 3/4 of that? So they couldn't double team him like that all the time? Woo! And I think that's why the league probably tells the refs not to call all the holdings, because that dude's virtually unstoppable. He would just ruin every play of every game. Robert Pena. Play calling is still sus. Again, I there is some things that are in question 100%, right? I'm not going to sit here and defend the whole thing because I'm not there, but what makes a good play call, whether it works or not? I mean, nothing's going to be perfect. I still stand on the point of, if this offensive line could actually do a little bit more. I'm not even looking for this offensive line to turn around and play a perfect game. I'm just looking for this offensive line to do enough to kind of give more confidence to the quarterback and more time for these plays to develop. And we're not even talking a whole lot of time. Just enough for Jimmy to feel comfortable. Jimmy G, by the way, this is J.O. Jimmy G's arm is weak, 100%. No downfield ability. And at this point, what's worrying me more, J.O., is it's not even, it is a big deal that he can't get the ball down the field, because that brings the defense close to the line of scrimmage, which is making it harder on the offense. You know, the Green Bay Packers blitzed on us so much yesterday. So in their defense, whether or not they made some changes, we didn't really they were overwhelmed with the blitz. But at the same time, it makes it easier when you know the quarterback can't get the ball down the field. And now I'm starting to see Jimmy's throws are coming up short. I really think that he's playing hurt. Raider John, the O-line was horrendous on third down. Bro, that O-line has just been horrendous, period. Right? Period. J.O., hit that like button. Dude, thank you so much. Hey, how many people are up in here tonight? I know earlier there was 7 and we had 2 likes. Let me see the numbers now. We got 17 people in here and 19. I'll take it, man. I got more likes than I got people watching. I'll take that all day. So I guess I can't really say that. If you are here and you come in late and you have yet to hit that like button, hook a brother up. Thank you, J.O. Raider John, the O-line was horrendous. Okay, I read that one, and then I read that one. D the Sum, thumbs up. Awesome, brother. I appreciate you. Ray Gonzalez, my boy, Jimmy AO4 should be splitting first team reps in practice with AO4 in the lineup. Tucker and Carter. Yep, Tucker and Carter to open things up. And again, I like it. I mean, that is exactly right. I really think that AO4 should be the backup. If something happens to Jimmy, we're just bringing another guy who's Father Times is just like that, man. He doesn't care, dude. He doesn't worry about what your situation is or what the team you play for. When your arm starts to go and you just get old and tired, you know what? You got to hear me in the morning getting up, dude. I do more grunts than I've ever did in my whole life. It's crazy, but it just, as you get older, it just happens. It's inevitable. And when you're playing a sport like football and you've had as many injuries as Jimmy has, it's inevitable, dude. I'm not hating the guy. I'm not even going to say he's weak for it. He's just been beat up a lot. It is what it is. But that kid should be backing him up, because if he goes down, that's an opportunity. And you just got, at some point, you got to say, you know what? Let's just run with it. Who cares? Because I still think that there should be the option of going after one of these quarterbacks. Not saying it's going to happen, because I don't know who's going to be in those picks, what it's going to cost. There's a lot of options you got to weigh. But we're not going to sit here and say that AO4 is the future of this franchise. I refuse to say that. I haven't seen enough. But I want to see what we do have. Tragedy turned triumph. What's up, brother? Thank you for being here. Besides the O-line, the play calling in the third downs from McDaniels were horrible. But again, is it? Because I think he's forced into some of those calls because of the way the offensive line's playing. And when again, it all starts in the trenches. I'm not here to defend McDaniels. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying it's 100% fact that the plays on third down were struggling, but it's also 100% fact that we don't know that this offensive line causes that. If it all starts in the trenches, we gotta take all that in consideration, and then we say, well, if it's not working, you got to get creative and get more innovative and try to find a way to make it work. And I think that's all he's trying to do. Is there better ways for him to do it? Yeah, probably. I'd like to see him make some adjustments and get a little bit more creative in play calling. May Spitfire, welcome. It's been a minute. How are you? So Jimmy always underthrowing or throwing behind the receiver. Fact. 100%. And this is, and like I said, when he gets tackled by his feet, he gets up and he just looks like he's testing that foot. I don't think he's as strong from the knees down as he makes out to be. And I think the Raiders know it. Let's see. I watch Tommy TV. What's up, brother? Mic is low. My mic shouldn't be low, man. That's the first time anybody told me my mic was low. It shouldn't be low, man. Is that any better? Or is it me? Am I moving away from the mic? Because in my headset and everything, it sounds pretty loud. And when I listen to these back, they sound pretty loud too. Let me know watching Tommy TV if that's any better or not. Let's see. You think the next games are a wrap? No, I do not. No, I do not. I watch Tommy TV. I don't. They should be. I still have the Raiders winning those games, but I'm not going to sit here and say it's a wrap. I mean, from a defensive standpoint, we have a chance to be in every single game. But until I start seeing the offense do things differently and improve and do it on a consistent basis, it's really hard to say what's going to happen week in and week out. I really thought this was going to be an opportunity for these guys to go out there and actually put something on the board that was actually worthwhile, and it didn't happen. I mean, the potential was there. It did look a little better. It did seem to flow a little bit better. But again, make the right corrections. Ronaldo Villarreal, what's up from DC? It's my boss, Ray, from work, and /friend and /co-host of the VCB podcast that we do. He's up there in DC right now doing some great work, working with a state and government organization that helps give blind people jobs and contracts, as well as my boss, Ray, does as well. He helps put those together, and then he has me work them. So, Ray, dude, I hope everything's safe up there, man. I heard some good reports in some meetings today that things are going well. You guys are having some great conversations. So thanks for being here, bro, because I know that you're on that Washington time right now. May Spitfire. Let's see. McDaniel's not listening to analytics. No, he's not listening to analytics. And I don't know exactly how to feel because I'm an old school guy. Analytics do play a big part on being able to figure certain things out, but sometimes analytics can be overrated because every situation is different. Not everything is going to be, you gotta look at your team, how your team's playing in certain situations. But I will agree with you, May. The analytics said he should have went for it on 4th and 1, and everything showed that, I thought we were playing good enough to convert. We had converted one earlier on in the game, and I feel like we could have did the same there, and it could have been a big difference in the score, right? Primarily in the score, and maybe into the game we wouldn't have had to put our defense in that situation. But with that said, finding the positive inside a negative, to put our defense in that situation and watch them rise to the occasion And then Amik to get a pick like that and end it the way that they did, 3 interceptions, really came out and got some turnovers. I think that just helps build confidence inside this defense and what they do and the depth that we have at corner. Juan Tiscarano. Juan, what's up, brother? How much is McDaniels paying Unite? Laugh out loud. You know what, dude? Like I said, I'll reiterate again. I don't want to come off like a McDaniels supporter because I'm not. If you've been watching the last few weeks, I don't even want the guy as our head coach anymore. But I'm just trying to be honest, man. I'm just trying to stand back and be honest, right? We're basing everything off whether a play is successful. We have to take in consideration a lot of things, and I'll say execution is a part of it. That's what McDaniel tries to sell us every time he takes the podium. He tries to sell us about the execution and people doing their job. Well, guess what? You're the head coach. That still falls on your plate if they're not executing, right? But there's only so much you're going to plan for. There's only so much that you're going to have ready to rip. And these guys do have to execute. And the offensive line is so bad. In my opinion, you go watch, especially in those running games. I'm telling you, man, there's nowhere for Josh to go. Josh is only going to do so much. And you saw when there is an opening and he had to make a move on that big run that he had, it was him that made that open it up by the great move he did. So again, like that would fix a lot of the problems. But thank you for being honest, Juan. And, you know, he said the check will be in the mail by this week, so we'll have to wait and see. We'll see by next episode if I change my tune. Maybe that's why the numbers are a little low tonight. But you know what? I'm still doing good. I got 18 people in here and I got 20 likes. So if you're just joined in and tuned in and you haven't hit that like button yet, help a brother out. All right. So wrapping this thing up tonight, because maybe it does sound like I got my pom-poms out this game and I'm rooting for Josh McDaniels and I'm giving him excuses. Look, I'm not. So I want to end it on that a little bit. I want to clarify my view on Josh McDaniels and what I'm seeing. Look, I'm not saying that he's calling a good game because obviously he's not, right? He's not going on 4th down, not using the timeout at the end before we got the ball at the end of the half, doing the bubble screen on 3rd down instead of throwing it to the end zone. Those are all bad calls, but all of those, or some of those, not all of those, are based off him not trusting this offense. Now, what part of the offense does he not trust? What elements is it that we don't know. We're not in his head. I personally like to think the offensive line, because that's the one thing that consistently proves to be bad week in and week out. In fact, it's digressed. It hasn't progressed. It's digressed. At least in the first 2 games, we didn't give up a sack and we were doing pass pro pretty well. We're not even doing that right. That is even fell. Because I think people are getting more and more confident on how they attack us, loading up the box, blitzing a lot more. They're putting a lot of pressure on that offensive line. They got to fix that first. And I don't expect Josh to call the perfect game, bro. So, is he? No, he's not. Nope, he's not calling a good game. I don't think, and again, because we're not in those war rooms with him and we're not looking over the tape and we're not going over the cues, things that were missed, we don't know how much of it is Josh and how much of it is Jimmy as it pertains to getting the ball to certain players. Now, they specifically designed plays early on in the game to get our tight end the ball, to get Tucker on an end around. And we saw it, and we're like, yeah, there it is, and then it goes away. That is on McDaniels, bro. So trust me, I'm not up here caping for McDaniels. Far from it. In fact, it's become more and more apparent to me that all the rumors and reports are true, that he's here for 3 years. So we have probably a whole nother year of this to go through, a whole nother year of us pounding our head on a table trying to figure out what the hell is going on, who's to blame. And we got some serious holes to fix, as well as some things that we still have to adjust and address on defense too. So we just got to hope we can free up the right money and fix those things. But right now, the main focus is how can we get it better now? How can we start making those improvements now? And I think it starts off, I can't remember off the top of my head right now. I want to say it was Raider Dangerfield that might have said it, where he was talking about putting Munford in, and then when Luminor is healthy, I hope he's not too badly banged up, that you slide him into that right guard spot. He's like a Swiss Army knife. He could do it. Because I know people are just sold that it's Van Rotten's the issue too. But again, Andre James is suffering. Parham was suffering. Like something's got to change across those trenches for this to be better. It just does. Facts, right? Make sure that I didn't miss anything on the way out of here. Raider John. Now, Raider John, you know about my vision, bro. And you wrote me a book. That's all good. We're going to figure this one out. Ready? First grade time. Raider John, if you're being honest, or if I'm being honest, I'm always honest, at least honest to my own opinion. If I'm being honest, we owe, oh my goodness. If I'm being honest, I was okay with us going for the field goal. Yeah, I mean, I see where you might think that. I wanted to see us go for it on fourth down. Let me see. How much did it jump on me? Damn, bro, I got to get you back. You got me 2 messages back to back. I'm going to have to get you back on here. If I'm being honest, I was okay for us going with the field goal. It made sense. But at the time, I thought it was 2 yards. I thought it was 2 yards, mind you. I was at the game, so I didn't get a good look at the replay. Again, going off analytics, like it ended up, if you're looking at, you got Mr. Automatic Carlson, at least he has been primarily. He had a bad day yesterday, right? It happens. It is what it is. But showing confidence in your kicker, if he makes that, it puts us up by 7 points. We get to kick the ball off. Likely they get it on the 25. And then, you trust that defense a bit more. So it's not like it was the worst thing that he could have ever done. But going for the field goal and then it being missed, it put us in a much tougher situation field position-wise when we could have ended the game. So I think any way that you look at it, it could be justified, but only if you make the field goal, right? And again, so are we having that same conversation if he makes the field goal and the Raiders go and get him 3 and out? I mean, the defense was shutting them down, and that's why I said we should have went for it. But that no timeout with the minute 50 left on the clock really pissed me off. Also his lack of speed to throw the flag when it's obvious it was a first down. This is the sign, and you're bringing up a good point. And I'm good. I get to end on a bad note on McDaniels, so thank you, brother. He's not processing things either, right? He's having a hard time. He's in his head. I don't even think he was this bad last year. Again, we're always looking for things to progress, not digress, and it's digressing. It's horrible. His decision-making on the sideline, his ability not to be able to manage the game, and I think it's affecting the team as a whole. They're feeling it. They're in this rut, and they can't get out, and it's his fault. It is solely his fault. He is the head coach. You're telling Patrick Graham to dummy things down, and look what it's done for the defense. Maybe it's time to dummy some things down and figure out some different options on offense. And then maybe that will help him with the speed of the game on what he's going to call. So I do agree with you, bro. I didn't know you went to the game, bro. That's pretty tight, man. So you made it out there and was able to catch the game. I take it you went with your brother. You could always text me and let me know, bro. On that note, it's time. Victory Tuesday. I hope it didn't get too negative because honestly, I'm truly proud of this football team. I'm proud that it showed grit, that it grinded it out. I'm really proud of this football, and I look forward to them doing it back to back at home. I really am. El Brown Julio, what's up? He needs an OC, but I don't think he trusts anyone to run his offense. Yeah, not only is that a pride thing, it's a narcissistic thing, bro. The dude is extremely narcissistic, bro. Like, seriously. And most head coaches are. Most guys who feel like they're innovators of whether it's offensive or defensive mentalities. There's even some owners that think they're like that, right? Jerry Jones comes off like, I'm that dude, right? You can't tell me. So, and again, Al had that swagger too, but at least Al backed it up. Dark, salute, brother, man. Good to see you here, bro. All right, guys. time for my shout outs. El Brown Julio. Hola. All right, man. All right. So we thank you, El Brown Julio. Appreciate you. Dark. Thank you for being here. Raider John, you already know, brother. Good to see you here, man. I hope your brother went with you, man. That's a tradition I never want to see change. Eric Raider, thank you for being here. Eric Raider Haters Hunter / Erika channel. Erica channel. Let me see. Do you think they will make any trades or pick up another player or what? Or two? When does that high-powered offense kick up Raider Nation? They got to fix that offensive line first. As far as I'm picking up another player, I don't think they do. I think they try to hold tight. I know there was a rumor about a pass rusher. I don't think that came to fruition. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. You know, I think if there's an opportunity, the right opportunity, I think they pull the trigger. But you want to make sure that it's not, you're not pushing it too hard. Raider Dangerfield, thank you for being here. Juan, thank you for being here. D the Sum, much love, much respect. May Spitfire, great to see you back in here. Ray, stay safe in DC, my friend. Lou Dog, thank you for being here, man. Get some sleep, do good in school. I watch Tony TV. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here. Let me see who else. I know, let's see. I'm going to stay on a little bit. Let me hit the music one more time so you don't have to just hear my voice. All right, let's see. I want to make sure I get everybody. Tragedy turned triumph. Appreciate you, brother. Ray Gonzalez, you already know, bro. D the Sum. J.O. My dudes. Robert Pena, you already know, my brother. Thank you for being here. I know Raider Critique was up in the house. I appreciate and respect you so much, Raider Critique. Thank you for being here. It's an OG. Let's see. Blind Gamer Lou, thank you so much, my brother. That Raiders fan, you already know, bro. Raider John. Raider Dangerfield, much love, much respect. Let's see. Sheldon, Shawshank himself, Brown. Thank you for being here, my brother. Shawshank Raider in the house. Let's see. Raider Dangerfield, much love, much respect. Let's see, Ray, I got Ray. Joseph Duran, longtime follower. Appreciate you, brother. All right. I think I hit most of that. Rafi. I know there's a few more. I just want to make sure I get everybody. The Raider Critique, I made sure I gave him some love. He was one of the first ones here tonight. D the Sum, another longtime subscriber. Appreciate all you guys tonight, man. Totally appreciate all the support, all the love. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to be updated every time I drop another episode. Hit that like button on the way out, nation. I appreciate you. Roger Santos, I saw you. Thank you, bro. Rolling Dubs, don't want to miss you, my dude. Appreciate all you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow night. And until then, stay Raider strong. Night out.